What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the Street Reporter. I got a new update on this FBG duck case. I've been updating this shit every day to the point where I understand if it's kind of getting a little bit, under the, rubbing people the wrong way. Because, Duck is somebody's son. He people homies. People get tired of seeing these type of videos. But he a drill legend. A lot of people want to know about him. He got what we call fame clout. I'm a street reporter. Some cities got TMZ, Hollywood, Extra. Chicago got Truth Tellers. And this is a big topic, so we're going to talk about this. This talk about what really brought the Fed's attention to O-Block. People didn't talk about this, but I never really understood this. They kind of talk about how it's two people on this case who got snitched on, to be honest. The Feds ain't really had that much information on them until people led them to them. So we finna talk about that. Hit the like button. We need a lot of likes on this video. I say this every time. It's a lot of new videos about this case because the trial starts tomorrow. Duck Mama gonna face them killers tomorrow, allegedly. And it's a lot of videos about that that's all the way up on the YouTube charts. Let's push those videos down by hitting the like button and push the real video up. According to the paperwork, I didn't study this. I didn't pay attention to this paperwork super hard. I'm a street reporter. It's my job to bring the news that's covered up. It seemed like these cars is the reason why Duck Caston got solved, allegedly, claiming that those guys done did this shit. When you think about it, they could have got away with this shit if I look at the paperwork the right way. If I'm looking at it the right way, they could have got away with this shit. What kind of got these guys locked up? Don't get me wrong. People knew that Duck had beef with these individuals. But what kind of got these guys locked up is those cars, that Ford Fusion and that Chrysler 300 that was used in Duck murder. The Feds claim that those cars belong to two of those guys, Los and C Murder. This is real strong. When I look at the paperwork, it talks about how the Feds knew about those cars the same day Duck got killed. The cameras and everything caught those cars. So many cameras caught those cars and those license plates. The Feds knew about C Murder and Los the day Duck died. Now, when Muwop come in, that is, I didn't really see a lot about Muwop. I heard that his phone was called. That's in the paperwork, that his phone was called to drop Duck low and shit like that. But in the paperwork, it talk about how C Murder says that those videos are blurry and you can barely pay attention to those videos and make out what's going on in those videos. And those videos wasn't nothing, according to the paperwork. What put Muwop at the crime scene is that right after Duck was killed, one of the cars were returned right back. Like, this car didn't go back to O-Block soon. Duck was killed. This car rode straight to the dealership to be returned back. And the people that got out the car at the dealership was Los and Muwop. So it's cameras that see Los and Muwop at this dealership, according to the paperwork. So that kind of places Muwop right at the scene because he gets out of this car right after this murder and shit. Okay? Then don't get me wrong, the Feds got cameras and video footage of people getting in cars and O-Block and shit, but they wouldn't know how to go to that shit. I'm gonna tell you why. Check this out. I didn't see anything that places the young guy, I forgot his name, C-Thing. I didn't really see videos that places him at the crime scene or Kenny Mack, but I do see shit about Kenny Mack text messaging people, telling people what happened and shit, but the Feds didn't really know how to go to him because I didn't really see anything that linked to him. Those guys' names had to have been brought up during the FBI investigation because I didn't see anything linking C Murder or linking Kenny Mack. But when you look in the paperwork, it say Kenny Mack is one of the only guys who didn't get out the car and shoot Duck. Okay, that's what the paperwork says. As crazy as this sounds, but he was involved in a crime allegedly. I didn't see nothing that placed C-Thing at the crime scene besides it saying that he kind of stood over Duck's body and shot into Duck, body standing over him. But I don't know how the Feds would know that because everybody got on, masks and shit like that. You can't really tell who they is. And I tell people that shit when you got these masks on and the footage is dark and blurry and shit like that. So I just think, in my opinion, from studying this paperwork, only thing puts those two guys at the crime scene is people telling that they were at that crime scene. And then the Feds did more of their homework and found out they must have been at that crime scene. They got text messages from Kenny Mack and people saying Kenny Mack was telling people shit and people were saying this shit about C-Thing. But to be led to that area to even look at that kind of shit, it just looks like, people told about them, Those two cars put pressure on everybody. When the feds got those cars and them license plates, you know, according to the paperwork, they started involving people, baby mamas, sisters, cousins, friends, enemies, all kind of people, man. They was putting pressure on people to figure out what's going on. And then remember, these guys tried to get these cars back, you know. So a lot of the feds put pressure on these guys' baby moms and, you know, girlfriends, threatening to take their kids away and all kind of shit. It's a lot of cooperation when you look into that paperwork. A lot of cooperation from a lot of people. The feds spoke to a lot of people, not just Trenches News, you know. And a lot of people just say Trenches. Now, I think Trenches is the only one that kind of stood 10 and said, yeah, he did it and he cooperated and shit. But it was a lot of people that, you know, spoke out on this trial. But I wanted to bring that to your attention, that the feds say they been had the cars. They been knew O Block did this shit allegedly. It's actually a newspaper article from 2020. Not even from Chicago, Atlanta newspaper from 2020. You know, Atlanta ain't got the news we got. This some O Block shit. This ain't like Vaughn died in Atlanta where they got all the extra information because it's from Atlanta. This is an Atlanta newspaper reporting on the Chicago shit. So even in 2020, that newspaper reported about those cars. That's 3 years ago. Look, we going into 2024. So damn near 4 years ago, it was a newspaper reported about those cars. So the feds knew about those cars. I think that was a mistake. I'm not sure, you know, how much they wanted Duck allegedly, like the feds say, but it had to be very strong to forget everything you was taught and say, fuck it, I'm gonna use my own whip. You know, I don't think those guys realized how strong that downtown shit would have been. You know, people want to know what the fuck going on downtown. It's billions of dollars down there. Celebrities live down there. The taxes is real high down there. A fucking bottle of water that's in the hood that costs 50 cents a dollar costs $10, $13 downtown. You know what I'm saying? So they treat you different down there. A lot of shit got stopped. A lot of movie theaters, retail, shopping centers, food centers, a lot of shit, condominiums, hotels, a lot of that construction stopped because people wanted to know, is it violence down there? Was this just some random shit, you know? So, you know, according to the paperwork, the feds say they knew who killed Duck. They just didn't know who all the players was. That's why a lot of these guys got arrested. Don't get me wrong, Teezy played a big part too in dropping the low because the security guard said he noticed Teezy and shit like that. But Teezy wasn't arrested when O Block 5 was arrested. So, you know, he came out later, you know. But according to the feds, they've been watching these guys ever since they knew about those cars. It was newspapers reporting about those cars a long time ago. Leave a comment though, man. The trial starts tomorrow. Those guys are gonna face Duck Mama, so let me know what y'all think about this. It's the homie Truth Teller. Blah, 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 blah.